Now, if you haven't booked next year's holiday yet, here's an idea.
In the north of France today, in Picardy, travelling along the Canal de la Somme. In upcoming shows you'll see some of the country's tourist hotspots, but you'll also discover those secret corners where foreigners are hardly ever seen. It's our first morning on the River Somme. It's an absolutely beautiful day. So this time we're off on the Canal de la Somme in Picardy for a short break with French boat hirer Locaboat. The hire base here is at Capy. That's just 2 hours driving from the Channel Tunnel or the ferry at Calais, and that's a seriously easy drive on France's excellent péage road system. Locaboat themselves have hire bases throughout France's waterway system, which stretches from the Channel to the Med. They specialise in a kind of boat they call a penichette, with a similar hull design to the old canal barges or pêcheses. Unlike most English canal boats, they're wide beam, which gives them loads of internal and deck space. For many newcomers to boating, locks can be a worry, but not here. The Somme has travelling lock keepers, each of whom manages 2 or 3 locks. You contact their controller when you set out and let them know when you're mooring up, and they make sure each lock you arrive at is ready to operate. Most of the keepers and the controller don't have much English, but with a little mutual patience you can easily make yourself understood. When you're new to locks, it's best to cruise in slowly and pass your ropes to the keeper, who puts them around a bollard or post and passes them back to you. Then, as your boat goes up or down in the lock, you and your crew adjust the ropes to keep your boat into the side. It's very simple. You also turn off your engine when in the lock. It saves the cooling system from sucking in any of the floating debris that can get caught in the lock basin. In some busier canals, things can happen quite quickly and you need to be alert. But on the Somme, the pace is much slower. Your boat descends in stately grace and you can see what's happening. It makes a very good introduction to canal boating. When the water in the lock and the next stretch of waterway is level, the keeper opens the gates and you're free to start the engine, retrieve your ropes and take the boat out, and gently does it in the confined space. Time to tie up now for the break. Here's how we do it. We take a little stroll up the deck because I decided that I didn't leave my rope in the right place. What a prune! But we'll move it down to nearer the middle of the boat so that we can get at it conveniently when I come alongside. There it is, just there, and that'll do nicely. And the rope is actually outside of everything, so I don't have to worry about it getting caught in the rails. We just put the boat back in gear and we let the boat just drift towards it. A little bit of a stern, lever out of gear, And the boat's perfectly fine on her own. She's not going to come to any harm. And the fenders pick up the strand, my rope. Anyone can make a mistake, Jim. Let's get that rope off there. And I just want to make the boat fast by the bow rope. And it doesn't matter what happens to the back of the boat because there's no other boats in easy sight. Even with the boat out of gear, the stern is not going to come in, so we'll put it in ahead. The boat goes into a head. The wheel is set over so that the stern is going to pull itself in. The boat will come alongside the quay, and the propeller and the rudder combined brings the stern in nicely so that she's right alongside and she's just hanging, if you like, on the one rope or pulling against the one rope. That rope is quite taut, and that means that the stern of the boat is in against the quayside, and I don't have to worry about that. We'll just make the bow rope nice and tight, and then we can have some lunch. What a nice idea. And as ever with any aspect of boat handling, don't strain yourself, because this boat weighs several tons and you can't actually pull it as such. All you can do is start it moving against the rope, and as you do that, the boat will move gently to where you want it to be. Very straightforward, very simple. It's not quite the appliance of science, but it's pretty close to it. It's the appliance maybe of a bit of common sense.